Hey guys, Solomon here, the Progressive West. I want to give you some thoughts on the the GOP primary debate that happened yesterday. I'm feeling pretty sick right now, so if I sound weird, that's probably why. This is like my fourth take, so hopefully this is good. Overall thoughts on the debate are that none of these people should be part of your consideration for the presidency. They're deeply unserious. They're not engaging with these topics in any kind of like nuanced or meaningful way. A lot of them have run so far to the right that they're completely out of step with the American people. And I don't know how they think that they're appealing to regular Americans in the majority, just like moderates and independents and Democrats. Like, they're not appealing to any of those people, just the most fringe, far right elements of our society. So more and more on several issues too. So and none of what was talked about at that debate was substantive, and like none of them talked about their policies, about what they would do for people. Just fucking general ass, standard ass Republican talking points, like, oh, we're gonna cut taxes for the rich. I'm gonna fearmonger about the border. We need to shut down our border. Um, and well, they didn't say we're going to cut taxes for the rich, but they always do cut taxes. When they do cut taxes, it's always for the rich, even though they frame it like they're going to cut your taxes. At several points, many of them said that they would get rid of the Department of Education. Vivek said that, and I think a couple other people agreed with them, that they would get rid of the Department of Education, which is absolutely absurd. We should be expanding education in this country. We need tuition-free tech schools and universities, just like we had before the 1970s, just like every other advanced democracy has. We need to increase our efforts federally to educate our people, which will help get rid of so many societal ills. To say that we need to get rid of the Department of Education is absolutely disgusting and absurd. I don't know how they think that's appealing to anybody who has a kid, anybody who has a kid in school. They're trying to play into this like theocratic fucking narrative from the evangelical right, that that this is that parents know best. This is what Nikki Haley said, that all parents know best about how to educate their kids. No, they don't. Any educator will tell you parents don't always know best. Okay, about how to educate their kids, and to basically they just want to take this lane of allowing all this religious indoctrination in schools. So let's just go down some of the issues. Climate change was atrocious. None of them raised their hands when they were asked whether or not they think anthropogenic climate change is correct and real. I love how they had to dumb it down, the word for them. Is human activity causing climate change? Because if they had used the word anthropogenic, I think that all of their brains would have exploded, because they don't own a fucking dictionary. And basically, Ron DeSantis tried to circuit that question and went on a stupid rant about something that didn't even make sense, about corporations or something, and basically just dodged the question. Vivek said it was a fucking hoax. Nikki Haley basically said it was real, but that we don't need to lower our emissions. China and India need to lower their emissions. Everybody else, everyone was saying like, oh, we got to expand American energy. We need to unleash American energy. We need to burn coal and burn oil, as if that's appealing to young voters. Vivek got booed by people because he said it was a hoax, which is good. I mean, it's just ridiculous at this point, because even young Republicans believe that climate change is a real issue and that we need to do something about it. So that should disqualify them for a lot of people, because the American people are not on their side on that. So I don't know how they think, but by pretending that climate change is not real, that makes them seem serious, that makes them seem like a good choice, a good politician. They're thinking so short term, as to just win the primary. So there was a question about UFOs, which Chris Christie got asked. It was a pretty lame question. The person asking it, she seemed kind of uncomfortable asking the question. She only asked one of them. She should have asked all of them to respond to that, because it's a serious issue. I think we're being visited by non-human intelligence, and I think their technology represents something that's way outside the scope of what we're capable of building. And it's odd. It's kind of scary and strange and weird. And there's a lot of credible witnesses coming forward, saying incredible things that need to be taken seriously. Chris Christie basically laughed it off, and he gave like a half decent answer that was like, well, the American president needs to be a pursuer of truth and needs to like level with the American people about everything, which is true. But I don't think he would. I don't think if he, you know, heard about the aliens, he wouldn't have this like fight in him to like declassify everything or anything like that. So, pretty lame answer. We didn't get to hear from anybody else. So clearly nobody's been briefed on the topic. No one's been doing their research or their homework on it. Let's talk about the drug issue. So a lot of fear-mongering about the border, like I said. And also a lot of them said that they would use military force in Mexico. I think Mike Pence said that. I think Vivek said that. I think several of them said that they would use military force to go after cartels. And that's basically their solution to the opioid epidemic. Oh, just go kill the cartels, and that'll help the crisis at the border. They're literally just declaring a war on drugs, which has literally not worked. A literal war on top of the war on drugs that we've already had. So stupid. They're so far from the real solution, which is decriminalize all drugs and make them legally available, treat it like a health issue, do Medicare for all so everybody has access to health care, and treat those who have serious addictions like treat them like patients and not like criminals, and don't destroy their lives, and go after the pharmaceutical industries and their greed and their desire to get everyone hooked on this shit, and like their recklessness, and to put people in jail over that. Put people in the pharmaceutical executives in jail for price gouging and making it hard for people to get their medicines, and for getting people hooked on opioids and killing millions of people. What about that? None of that got brought up. Their solution is to bomb the cartels, which is absolutely ridiculous. And also Marianne Williamson talks about we need to get a look in the mirror and start dealing with what we've done in South America and Latin America, Central America. That's a big reason why so many people are coming here in the first place. And there's a horror show going on at the border. It's humanitarian crisis. And all these people would just treat immigrants like dogs and just shoot them. Dogs with rabies. So it's ridiculous. It's disgusting ridiculous. Another note, speaking of Williamson, is that Vivek seems to be trying to steal some of Williamson's rhetoric. I don't know if he's been watching her videos or what, but he basically stole her car mechanic a metaphor that she's been using. He's trying to like enter this lane of like the populist right, and I don't think it's working. But he was basically saying like, we need someone from the outside to get in, and we can't choose the car mechanics that drove us into this mess. We need to get out of it. And I was like, that's literally her metaphor, and it's so gross because she doesn't have a chance to debate on the DNC side against Biden and RFK Jr. and to put her case out there and to be a real populist, speaking on real issues of economic U-turns and like economic revival of this country. And he's trying to ride this right-wing populist wave, which is just so gross. Chris Christie should have gone harder on the anti-Trump stuff. He seemed kind of weak at times. I think he got a good couple jabs at Vivek there. You know, I think that was good. I just think most of the time people were just boring. Like Tim Scott was boring. The guy from South Dakota was boring. Asa Hutchinson was just so boring. Just like, oh my God. Like they didn't say anything of substance. It was just so boring. Those are some of my jumbled thoughts on the whole debate. I don't think DeSantis did particularly well. I don't think he'll get a bump on the polls. He might drop a little bit. I think some people will start dropping out after this. I think, and so some people are going to gain a point or two there, here or there. Ultimately, I think Donald Trump is just going to hold steady. He might lose a few points to Vivek, or Kirsty. Well, who knows? Or who knows? I don't think any of these people really stood out as someone that could be president. And honestly, I don't know what the Republicans are going to do about it, because they don't have any good candidates. And I'm just hoping and praying that people choose Marianne Williamson over these fucking idiots. So I'm probably missing a lot of the things I wanted to talk about. But it was 2 hours of debate, and I've tried to film this video so many times, so I think I'm just going to end it there. This is the Progressive West signing off. Have a good one.